What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you about this upcoming week, go over data points, events, things that could cause a lot of volatility in the market and also with Lucid, go over my price prediction where I see things going by the end of the week, and also do want to incorporate bankruptcy because oddly enough, a lot of people are still talking about Lucid is no matter what going to file bankruptcy. So just want to talk on that briefly. But before I get into any of that, making sure you guys hit that thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Greatly appreciate that. If you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With that, let's get right to it. So starting off, I just want to start off by going over some economic data that's going to cause a little bit more volatility in Lucid and also the broader economy, and that is coming on Wednesday. So there is going to be CPI data. Generally speaking, it does appear, especially based on the chart, that we are kind of capped out. We're at the trough, we're at the peak of it. So potentially it could go down, and this might have a lot of good surprise results. If it does come in a lot lower than expected, then anticipate the broader economy is going to have a nice rally. In addition to that, Friday's economic data that came out about non-farm payroll, showing that consumers have a lot of money still maintaining their jobs, things like that. That definitely will roll over into this week, giving us a nice continued momentum. So that definitely will be very much positive. But when it comes down to it, like I said, there is still a lot of talk about kind of a bankruptcy and things like that, which at the end of the day, I don't personally feel that is very justified, because this did come out in April saying that Lucid has a A3 Moody's rating, which insinuates that ultimately it's not a strong likelihood of a candidate for bankruptcy. Just want to quickly go to Moody's and show you this. So right now, Lucid does have a rating of A3, which is a long term. So A is obligations, credit A are considered upper, medium grade, and are subject to low credit risk. And as of right now, A3 is still in the parameters of P1 for short term. And looking here, P1 is issuers prime 1 have a superior or ability to repay short-term debt obligations. So at the end of the day, in the short term at least, it doesn't have any feasible likelihood of having a bankruptcy. We're kind of going down that route. But despite that though, there still is a lot of articles and websites, even this one that says Lucid has a 97% chance of bankruptcy. They talk on some fundamentals and things like that, but at the end of the day, I feel that 97% likelihood of kind of financial distress is a little bit far-fetched. Just want to show you this because I like to use this as a good kind of benchmark. So this is going to talk on basic fundamentals, balance sheet. So right here, balance sheet highlights total cash equivalent short-term investments 5.39 billion and total debt 2.2 billion, which still of that 2.2 billion, 2 billion is a low-cost financing, 1.25% up until 2026, and even over and above that, Lucid does have access to 1 billion as far as a line of credit. So doesn't necessarily mean they are going to be using it, but still, based on their debt and their assets, it's not too bad if you ask me. Looking here, they are burning about 1.33 billion almost every quarter, so that's something that you really need to keep in mind. But as Peter kind of reiterated over the last couple earnings, it's the tail end. That is when we are going to really ramp up production, and that is going to equate to higher revenue, even necessarily in the upcoming earnings. So that is the Q2, most likely in the first or second week of August, because they haven't really announced it yet, but still there's going to be a nice increase in revenue, largely because of what happened when they said that to avoid rate increases or price increases, I should say, you can commit your actual reservation to an actual purchase. So that's going to be a nice revenue increase that we're going to see in the upcoming earnings. So again, when it comes down to it, yes, a lot of companies are bleeding right now, but you have to believe in the long term, and as long as Lucid does even remotely what they say they're going to do, it's going to be very good for us as investors. And still, I already technically did do a video on this, but again, not really referring to a lot of these websites, but still, I want to point this out because I did bring this up. The PIF. So at the end of the day, even if we do get into financial distress, the PIF is going to support us. We have Big Brother behind us, always going to be backing us. So at the end of the day, I'm not really too worried. My own 2 cents. But also keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own due diligence at the end of the day. But overall, though, a lot of activity has been also happening on the shorts. Despite us going up as much as we have, shorts have really been increasing. So we're actually at 23.81% short interest. So that's very interesting to see that kind of situation kind of develop, because at the end of the day, I think leading into this week, we were roughly at 20%. So they have really backed up the bus. They're not really hesitant or believing in this rally that Lucid has gone on. Cost to borrow is kind of maintaining itself to 25.31%. And right now the short score is at 89.45%, which again, the higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening. Given all the circumstances, there's currently 139 million shares that are being shorted of Lucid. So with a good piece of momentum or continuation of momentum, good piece of news coming out, such as the CPI data, we could have a nice, beautiful squeeze on our hands. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below about, for instance, bankruptcy. And in addition to that, if you feel that there's going to be a squeeze occurring this week, or potentially even in the foreseeable future. I'm very interested to kind of see your thoughts on that. But with that, just going to cap it off with some technical analysis, because I feel that outside of CPI data, technicals have played a very big part in kind of the rally that's been happening over the last little bit. So just with that, I do have the 50, 100, 200-day moving averages, Bollinger Bands, RSI, stochastic, and momentum. So momentum, number of buyers have been going up significantly. So that's not necessarily just only retail investors. Actual institutions have been getting in. So this is just the purchases just from Friday alone, and it is insane. So in addition to that, Thursday. So I'm still scrolling from Friday, and here is Thursday, like an absolutely insane amount of institutions getting in. So you can definitely tell that based on the momentum indicator. Stochastic is having a nice deviation, so black line above the red, showing a nice bullish trend. RSI is also at 59. And on the actual chart, obviously looking at this, it is looking nice natural growth. And 9 times out of 10, I always say when we do break outside the Bollinger Band, which is what happened on Friday, we do get a little pullback, a little bit more consolidation, which again is very healthy for the grand scheme of things for Lucid. And so with that, I'm just going to quickly pop over here and go over some of the Fibonacci, some more macro views that you should watch for. Currently 1999, pivot point is 1767. So we're actually trading between the R1 and the R2. Very beneficial, and in the end doing a lot better than other growth stocks. So goes to show that we are and have been at a substantial discount compared to even other growth stocks. So that is showing fairly good, similar to what the chart was, and more so on a micro kind of standpoint. First, second, and third resistance points, all for the most part tight knit. So if we do get a nice continuation, we can easily get over that. So this is going to tie into where I see things going by the end of the next week. On the contrary though, first, second, and third support points is 1934, 1868, and 1805. Again, going back to that CPI data, if it isn't good, and for instance, if it is a lot higher than what we are anticipating, then we do have a little bit more gaps here that we could potentially break below, which again happened exactly on Friday. You can see the low did break below that first support point. So given the circumstances and a nice continuation of momentum leading into next week, I personally do see us around that $21 to $22 mark. I personally don't think we have enough to get over that unless some magical news does come out, or as well if CPI is a lot lower than expected. So you can even see on a year over year, it's anticipated and forecasted to be 8.8%, and the month over month 1.1%. So like I said, if for instance a month over month is only 0.5%, then consider this, what I just mentioned, just gone out the window. We're going to be well over that. My own 2 cents. Like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. This is only for entertainment purposes, and in the end, I hope you are entertained by this. But with all that, let me know your thoughts on Lucid in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and don't forget to have an amazing weekend and make a lot of money on Lucid.